In the annals of American history, few tales rival the audacity and adventure of the Oregon Trail pioneers. These intrepid souls embarked on a treacherous and awe-inspiring expedition, braving untamed wilderness, harsh climates, and unforeseen dangers. With their wagons and hopes in tow, they traversed vast distances, facing unpredictable rivers, treacherous mountains, and hostile territories. What fueled their relentless spirit? How did they navigate through the vast expanse of the unknown? And what trials and triumphs awaited them along the way? Join us as we unravel the captivating story of these trailblazers who left an indelible mark on the American frontier. Early pioneers. The early pioneers of the Oregon Trail were a diverse group of individuals who embarked on a remarkable and arduous journey during the 19th century. These courageous men, women, and families sought adventure, economic opportunities, and a chance for a better life in the vast, untamed lands of the American West. Their pioneering spirit and determination shaped the course of American history and left an indelible mark on the nation. The pioneers who set out on the Oregon Trail hailed from various backgrounds and regions of the United States. They came from states in the Midwest, such as Missouri, Illinois, and Iowa, as well as from the eastern seaboard. Seeking new horizons, they left behind their familiar homes, friends, and communities to embark on a perilous journey into the unknown. The journey on the Oregon Trail typically began in the spring, when the weather was more favorable and the grasslands were lush. Pioneers organized themselves into wagon trains, as traveling in larger groups offered protection, assistance, and a sense of community. These wagon trains varied in size, ranging from a few families to several hundred people. The pioneers faced numerous challenges along the trail. One of the most daunting obstacles was the sheer distance they had to cover. The Oregon Trail spanned approximately 2,000 miles, stretching from Missouri to the fertile lands of the Pacific Northwest. It was a treacherous path, fraught with rugged terrain, steep mountains, and vast expanses of arid plains. The pioneers had to navigate rivers, ford treacherous streams, and endure harsh weather conditions, including scorching heat, bitter cold, and torrential rainstorms. Supplying themselves for such a long and demanding journey was no small feat. Pioneers had to carefully pack their wagons with essential provisions, including food, water, tools, spare parts, and clothing. They also carried items for trade and barter, as well as personal belongings and cherished mementos. These supplies were crucial for their survival and sustenance throughout the months-long journey. The pioneers relied on their resourcefulness and adaptability to overcome the challenges they encountered. They built makeshift bridges, repaired wagons, and devised clever ways to navigate treacherous river crossings. They hunted game for food, fished in rivers and lakes, and foraged for edible plants in the wild. Along the trail, the pioneers established temporary campsites where they rested, repaired equipment, and replenished their supplies. The Witmans' journey. Some of the early pioneers to set off on the Oregon Trail were Marcus and Narcissa Witman, who were missionaries. In 1836, the Witmans, along with Henry and Eliza Spaulding, traveled from St. Louis to the Walla Walla Valley, following the trail along the Platte River and the South Pass through the Rocky Mountains. The Witmans established a mission in the Walla Walla Valley to minister to the Cayuse people. Initially, relations between the missionaries and the Cayuse were peaceful, and the Witmans provided medical care, conducted church services, and ran a mission school. However, they did not make significant efforts to understand the Cayuse culture or adapt their religious teachings to resonate with the Native Americans. In 1842, the American Missionary Board decided to close the Witmans' mission, but Marcus Witman returned to the West in 1843 and helped guide the first large wagon train along the Oregon Trail. This wagon train, known as the Great Migration of 1843, consisted of 1,000 pioneers in 100 wagons, with around 5,000 oxen and cattle. As more white settlers arrived in the area, the Witmans found themselves assisting the settlers more than ministering to the Cayuse. The increasing influx of settlers disrupted the Native Americans' way of life, and introduced diseases that the Cayuse had no immunity against. In 1847, when a measles epidemic struck the region, the Witmans assisted both the settlers and the Cayuse, but many Cayuse, including most of their children, died. Feeling betrayed, a band of Cayuse retaliated on November 29, 1847, by killing 13 settlers, including the Witmans, and burning down the mission buildings. This act led to further conflict, with a white militia attacking Cayuse groups. Eventually, a group of Cayuse leaders surrendered, and they were subsequently executed. The remaining Cayuse people scattered and were assimilated by nearby Native American groups. Wagons weren't for riding. While journeying, the wagons used on the Oregon Trail were typically sturdy, heavy-duty vehicles designed to withstand the rigors of the journey. They were constructed with solid wooden frames and covered with canvas or tarps to protect the contents from the elements. The most common type of wagon used by pioneers was the Conestoga wagon, known for its large size and capacity. While the primary purpose of these wagons was to transport supplies, belongings, and provisions, they were not designed for passengers to ride comfortably inside. Instead, pioneers would walk alongside or behind the wagons as they made their way across the trail. Walking ensured that the pioneers could actively assist the wagon if needed, navigate difficult terrain, and tend to the livestock. Walking alongside the wagons also allowed the pioneers to maintain a close connection with their belongings and supplies. They could readily access essential items, make repairs to the wagon, and ensure the security of their provisions during the journey. Additionally, walking helped distribute the work and reduce the strain on the animals pulling the wagons. That being said, there were instances where certain individuals would ride inside the wagons. Elderly pioneers, those who were sick or injured, or young children who were unable to walk the long distances, would often find a place inside the wagons for their comfort and safety. This arrangement allowed them to conserve their energy and receive necessary care during the arduous journey. However, it's important to note that the majority of pioneers on the Oregon Trail walked alongside or behind the wagons. They trudged through the uneven terrain, enduring the challenges and hardships of the trail with each step. Walking also provided the opportunity for interaction and camaraderie among fellow pioneers, as they shared stories, songs, and support along the way. So while some pioneers did ride inside the wagons, it was more common for them to walk and actively participate in the journey. The wagons served as a crucial means of transporting supplies and belongings, while the pioneers themselves relied on their own strength and resilience to navigate the Oregon Trail. 3 sets of clothes for 6 months. As the pioneers embarked on their daring expedition along the Oregon Trail, they faced a unique challenge, one of which is how to make their clothing last for the entire journey. With limited space in their wagons and no department stores along the trail, they had to be resourceful and inventive when it came to their attire. Each one carefully packed 3 sets of clothing, a testament to their practicality and the need to make every garment count. These clothes were their armor against the elements, their companions in the face of uncertainty. During the long days on the trail, pioneers donned their everyday clothing, hardy garments crafted from robust materials like cotton, wool, and denim. Men wore rugged shirts and trousers, while women donned long dresses or skirts, their sturdy boots protecting their feet from the rugged terrain. Their outfits were more about functionality than fashion, designed to endure the hardships of the trail. But it wasn't just about practicality. Pioneers also held on to a sense of occasion. Tucked away in their wagons, they carried a set of Sunday best clothing. These garments, reserved for special moments, symbolized hope and the promise of a brighter future. When they reached settlements or gathered for religious services, pioneers would don their finest attire, men in their best shirts and trousers, and women in their carefully crafted dresses and accessories. It was a chance to momentarily escape the challenges of the trail and revel in a sense of normalcy. Nightfall brought a different kind of attire. Pioneers slipped into their simple nightwear, humble garments that provided comfort and rest after a long day of travel. Women wore nightshirts or gowns, while men found solace in their nightshirts. Underneath it all, they wore undergarments like chemises, petticoats and corsets for women, and long underwear for both men and women. These hidden layers offered an extra layer of protection and ensured their modesty throughout the journey. Maintaining their clothing became a labor of love. Pioneers would carefully mend any tears or weak seams, their nimble fingers working to keep their garments intact. When the opportunity arose, they would wash their clothes by hand, using water from nearby streams, and hang them out to dry under the warm embrace of the sun. Every stitch and every wash was a testament to their determination to make their clothing last. In the face of scarcity, pioneers were resourceful. They repurposed worn-out garments, transforming them into patches or smaller accessories. They salvaged every scrap of fabric, fashioning it into something new and useful. Their ingenuity knew no bounds, and they embraced the challenge of making the most of what they had. The Oregon Trail Diet Plan. With limited supplies and vast distances to cover, the pioneers had to rely on ingenuity to sustain themselves amidst the untamed wilderness. Their wagons were laden with essential provisions, carefully chosen to withstand the journey's hardships. Bags of flour, cornmeal, and rice nestled alongside cans of salted meats, dried fruits, and beans. These humble ingredients formed the backbone of their meals, providing sustenance and a taste of familiarity in the untamed frontier. But the pioneers knew that survival required more than just staples. Along the trail, they became hunters and gatherers, seeking out nature's bounty to supplement their meager supplies. With rifles in hand and keen eyes scanning the horizon, they stalked elusive game, deer, buffalo, and smaller critters that darted through the wooded thickets. The crackling of a campfire would soon bring sizzling meat and the aroma of success, a reward for their prowess and a welcome addition to their meals. The rivers and lakes that crossed their path offered a chance to cast their lines and test their angling skills. Patiently, they would wait for the tug of a fish on their lines, their hearts leaping with each catch. Freshly caught fish, their silvery scales shimmering in the sunlight, became a prized delicacy, adding a burst of flavor and variety to their otherwise simple fare. Cooking on the trail was an art in itself. The pioneers deftly wielded cast-iron pots, hanging them over crackling fires or nestling them amidst glowing coals. Dutch ovens, their blackened surfaces seasoned with the stories of countless meals, were revered for their ability to transform simple ingredients into hearty feasts. Bread and biscuits, crafted from flour, water, and a pinch of salt, emerged from these makeshift ovens, their golden crusts a testament to the pioneers' resourcefulness. But it wasn't just meat and bread that sustained them. The pioneers carried dried fruits and vegetables, carefully preserved to endure the journey's hardships. These precious morsels, plucked from the earth and sun-dried, added a touch of sweetness and vibrancy to their meals. Tender bites of dehydrated apples, peaches, and beans brought a taste of vitality to their otherwise rugged existence. As they traversed new landscapes, the pioneers became keen observers of nature's pantry. They scoured the land for edible plants, their fingers grazing wild onions and dandelion greens, their baskets filling with nature's bounty. Berries, plucked from thorny bushes, burst with the flavors of the untamed frontier, their tart juiciness a reminder of the land's abundant gifts. Water, a lifeline in the vast expanse, was carefully rationed and replenished from natural sources. Rivers and streams whispered their secrets, offering the pioneers a chance to quench their thirst and refresh their weary bodies. And in moments of respite, a simple cup of coffee brewed over the campfire brought warmth and a moment of solace. Adaptability and creativity became their culinary companions. They traded with fellow pioneers and encountered friendly settlers and indigenous people, exchanging goods and diversifying their diet. Safety in numbers. The pioneers quickly learned that safety lay in numbers. The vast and untamed wilderness they passed through presented numerous hazards and dangers that required them to band together for protection and support. Traveling in large groups, known as wagon trains, provided a sense of security and deterred potential threats. The pioneers understood that there was strength in unity, and by traveling together, they could help one another navigate treacherous terrain, fend off attacks, and provide assistance in times of need. One of the primary benefits of traveling in numbers was the collective defense against hostile encounters. The pioneers faced the constant risk of attacks by Native American tribes, bandits, and other roving groups seeking to exploit vulnerable travelers. By forming a cohesive unit, they could better defend themselves and their valuable supplies. Pioneers organized guard rotations, ensuring that there was always a watchful eye on the horizon and a line of defense ready to repel any potential threats. Moreover, traveling in larger groups increased the chances of survival in case of emergencies or accidents. The trail was riddled with hardships such as harsh weather conditions, treacherous river crossings, and unforeseen accidents. By pooling their resources, skills, and knowledge, the pioneers could overcome these challenges more effectively. They shared tools, medical supplies, and expertise, creating a safety net that eased the burden of individual hardships. The camaraderie and mutual support that flourished within wagon trains were vital for the pioneers' emotional well-being. The arduous journey tested their resolve and took a toll on their spirits. However, the presence of fellow travelers provided solace and a sense of community. They shared stories, laughter, and tears around campfires, offering comfort and reminding each other that they were not alone. In addition to protection and emotional support, traveling in larger groups facilitated the sharing of knowledge and information. Pioneers exchanged insights about the trail, weather patterns, reliable water sources, and potential dangers. This collective wisdom helped them make informed decisions and navigate the unknown with greater confidence. Kids on the trail. The Oregon Trail was not only a trial of endurance for adults, but also an extraordinary journey for children. With their wide-eyed wonder and resilient spirits, the young pioneers brought a sense of hope and innocence to the arduous trek. Children on the trail experienced a unique blend of adventure and hardship. They witnessed the ever-changing landscapes, from the vast rolling prairies to the majestic mountains, with a sense of awe and curiosity. The trail became their playground, where they explored nature's wonders, chased butterflies, and marveled at the beauty surrounding them. They forged friendships with fellow young pioneers, forming unbreakable bonds that would last a lifetime. However, life on the trail was not without its challenges. Children faced the same harsh conditions as their parents: scorching heat, bone-chilling cold, and relentless dust that seemed to permeate everything. They endured long days of walking, their small legs tirelessly keeping pace with the wagons. The monotony of the journey was broken only by the occasional excitement of river crossings or encounters with wildlife. Education took on a different form on the trail. The pioneers recognized the importance of providing some semblance of schooling for their children, even in the midst of the rugged frontier. Parents, often the sole teachers, imparted knowledge and skills that would serve the young pioneers throughout their lives. Lessons were conducted around campfires or during breaks, with parents sharing their wisdom in reading, writing, arithmetic, and practical skills necessary for survival. Children played a crucial role in the daily chores and responsibilities of the wagon train. They assisted with gathering firewood, caring for livestock, and helping with meal preparations. Their small hands eagerly contributed to the tasks at hand, fostering a sense of responsibility and self-reliance from an early age. Despite their young age, they were valued members of the community, their contributions acknowledged and appreciated. Yet, amidst the challenges and responsibilities, the children found moments of joy and laughter. They invented games, sang songs, and shared stories under the vast expanse of the starlit sky. They found solace in their imaginations, transforming the harsh reality of the trail into a realm of adventure and possibility. Diseases. Diseases posed a significant threat to the pioneers on the Oregon Trail as they navigated through unfamiliar territories and encountered new environments. The harsh conditions, close quarters, and limited access to healthcare made them vulnerable to a range of illnesses that could quickly spread among the wagon trains. One of the most prevalent diseases on the trail was cholera, a highly contagious bacterial infection transmitted through contaminated water sources. Cholera outbreaks could sweep through the wagon trains with devastating consequences. Poor sanitation practices, coupled with the scarcity of clean water, created an environment ripe for the spread of the disease. Infected individuals experienced severe diarrhea, dehydration, and often succumbed to the illness. Other diseases that plagued the pioneers included dysentery, typhoid fever, measles, and influenza. Dysentery, caused by poor hygiene and unsanitary conditions, led to severe diarrhea and abdominal pain. Typhoid fever, transmitted through contaminated food and water, caused high fever, weakness, and gastrointestinal issues. Measles and influenza, both highly contagious respiratory diseases, could spread rapidly among the crowded wagon trains, causing widespread illness and sometimes death, particularly among children. The lack of medical resources and trained healthcare professionals along the trail made it challenging to effectively treat and manage these diseases. Pioneers relied on home remedies, folk medicine, and the limited medical knowledge available within their communities. Herbal remedies, poultices, and basic treatments such as rest and hydration were used to alleviate symptoms and support recovery. Tragically, many pioneers succumbed to diseases during their journey. Makeshift graves along the trail bear witness to the lives lost to these harsh realities. The emotional toll on the survivors, who often grieved the loss of family members and friends, was immeasurable. Despite the challenges, the pioneers exhibited resilience and adapted to the circumstances. They implemented measures to minimize disease transmission, such as isolating infected individuals, improving sanitation practices, and boiling water when possible. Also, some wagon train leaders implemented stricter hygiene protocols and enforced quarantine measures to limit the spread of illnesses. The hardships and dangers posed by diseases on the Oregon Trail serve as a somber reminder of the incredible sacrifices and risks undertaken by the pioneers. Accidents. Accidents were an ever-present danger on the treacherous trails of the Oregon Trail, where the pioneers faced a myriad of hazards that could result in injury or even death. The rugged terrain, unpredictable weather conditions, and the constant movement of wagons made accidents a constant threat to the safety of the pioneers. The most common types of accidents on the trail involved wagon mishaps. The wagons, heavily loaded with supplies and pulled by teams of animals, were prone to tipping over, especially when navigating steep slopes, crossing rivers, or encountering rough terrain. These accidents could result in serious injuries, broken bones, and even fatalities. The pioneers had to exercise caution and employ skillful maneuvering to prevent wagon accidents, often relying on experienced teamsters or trail guides to navigate treacherous sections. Another significant risk was associated with river crossings. The pioneers had to navigate swollen rivers and fast-flowing currents, often with wagons and livestock in tow. Crossing rivers was a perilous endeavor, as wagons could get swept away by the force of the water, and individuals could be swept downstream or drown. Accidents during river crossings claimed the lives of both humans and animals, and the pioneers had to exercise utmost care and judgment to minimize the risks. Accidental firearm discharges were also a concern on the trail. Guns were essential tools for hunting, defense against predators, and potential conflicts with Native American tribes. However, mishandling or accidental firing of firearms could lead to severe injuries or fatalities, both among the pioneers themselves and unintended victims within the wagon trains. It was crucial for pioneers to practice proper gun safety and exercise caution when handling firearms. The rugged and often treacherous landscapes also posed risks for individual accidents. Slippery trails, steep inclines, and rocky terrain increased the chances of falls, sprains, and fractures. Moreover, encounters with venomous snakes or dangerous wildlife could result in bites or attacks, necessitating swift medical attention. In the face of these risks, pioneers relied on their resourcefulness and the support of their fellow travelers. They developed techniques to stabilize wagons during treacherous maneuvers, established safety protocols for river crossings, and provided aid to the injured. The pioneers often had rudimentary medical knowledge and relied on each other for first aid and support in the event of accidents. Weather. The weather along the Oregon Trail varied greatly, presenting the pioneers with a wide range of challenging conditions throughout their journey. The trail spanned vast distances and diverse landscapes, exposing the pioneers to the whims of nature and the elements. During the spring and summer months, The pioneers often encountered scorching heat and arid conditions. The relentless sun beat down on them, causing dehydration and heat exhaustion. Dust storms were not uncommon, creating blinding conditions and making it difficult to breathe. The lack of shade and scarce water sources posed additional challenges, requiring careful planning and conservation of resources. As the pioneers moved into the fall and winter seasons, they faced a different set of weather-related hardships. The temperatures dropped, and frigid winds swept across the plains and mountains. Snowstorms and blizzards posed significant dangers, making travel treacherous and visibility limited. The wagons and livestock had to navigate through deep snow, sometimes requiring the pioneers to shovel and clear paths for progress. Cold-related illnesses such as frostbite and hypothermia were constant concerns. Rainfall played a significant role in shaping the conditions along the trail. Heavy rain could turn the prairies into muddy quagmires, making it challenging for wagons and livestock to make progress. The wagons could get stuck, and the animals could become mired in the mud, impeding travel and causing delays. Crossing swollen rivers became even more perilous, as the rushing waters posed a greater risk of accidents and drownings. The pioneers had to be adaptable in the face of changing weather conditions. They adjusted their travel schedules, seeking to avoid the most extreme weather patterns when possible. They made use of their limited resources to mitigate the effects of weather, such as constructing makeshift shelters, reinforcing their wagons against the elements, and stockpiling supplies to weather out storms. The weather on the trail tested the pioneers' resilience and resourcefulness. They had to be prepared for a wide range of conditions, balancing the need for steady progress with the necessity of protecting themselves and their belongings from the harshest elements. The ability to adapt and endure in the face of unpredictable weather was a crucial aspect of their journey along the Oregon Trail. 2 heavy properties. The issue of carrying a heavy load was a significant challenge for pioneers on the Oregon Trail. The wagons were packed with essential supplies and personal belongings, and finding the right balance between carrying enough provisions and overburdening the wagons was a delicate task. Carrying too heavy a load had several negative consequences. Firstly, it put excessive strain on the wagons themselves, leading to increased wear and tear on the wheels, axles, and other components. The rough and uneven terrain of the trail, combined with the weight of the wagons, made it more likely for them to break down or become damaged. Repairing or replacing wagon parts was difficult and time-consuming, potentially causing delays and setbacks for the pioneers. Secondly, an overloaded wagon was more challenging to maneuver, especially during river crossings, steep ascents or descents, and narrow passages. It increased the risk of accidents, such as wagons toppling over or becoming stuck in difficult terrain. Maneuvering heavy wagons required more effort from the animals pulling them, potentially exhausting them and affecting their health and stamina. A heavy load reduced the speed and progress of the wagon train. Pioneers aimed to cover a certain distance each day to reach their destination within a reasonable time frame. Carrying an excessive load slowed down the pace of travel, resulting in longer days on the trail and potential delays in reaching necessary water and food sources. To manage the issue of a heavy load, pioneers had to make careful decisions about what to bring and what to leave behind. They had to prioritize essential supplies such as food, water, tools, and clothing, while minimizing non-essential items. Making tough choices about personal belongings and sentimental items was necessary to ensure the wagons could carry the most critical provisions. Pioneers also sought to distribute the weight evenly within the wagons to maintain stability and balance. They packed heavier items low and close to the axles, keeping the center of gravity as low as possible. This approach helped to minimize the risk of the wagons tipping over or becoming imbalanced during travel. Managing a heavy load was a constant concern for pioneers on the Oregon Trail. Striking the right balance between carrying necessary supplies and ensuring the wagons remained manageable and functional was a critical aspect of their journey. The pioneers' ability to assess and adjust their loads contributed to their overall success in navigating the challenging trail. Are we there yet? The pioneers who embarked on the Oregon Trail faced numerous challenges and hardships along their journey, but many of them did manage to reach their intended destination in the Oregon Territory. The trail covered approximately 2,000 miles, stretching from Missouri to the western regions of the United States. Completing the Oregon Trail typically took pioneers several months, although the duration varied depending on factors such as weather conditions, the size of the wagon train, and the pace of travel. The pioneers encountered a range of difficulties during their trek, including harsh weather, treacherous terrain, and limited resources. Despite these challenges, the pioneers persevered and exhibited remarkable resilience. They navigated through rugged landscapes, crossed rivers and mountains, and endured extreme weather conditions. They faced the risks of diseases, accidents, and encounters with hostile Native American tribes. Through their resourcefulness, adaptability, and determination, they overcame these obstacles and continued their westward journey. Upon reaching the Oregon Territory, pioneers settled in various areas, with the Willamette Valley and the Columbia River Basin being popular destinations. They established new communities, built homes, and developed farms. Their arrival contributed to the growth and development of the region, shaping its culture, economy, and society. However, it's important to acknowledge that not all pioneers who set out on the Oregon Trail reached their destination. Some faced insurmountable challenges, such as illness, accidents, or the loss of essential supplies. Others made the difficult decision to turn back due to the hardships they encountered. The journey was demanding, and not everyone completed it successfully. The pioneers who did reach their destination in the Oregon Territory played a significant role in its settlement and development. Their courage and determination in the face of adversity remain a testament to their enduring legacy in the history of the American West. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one.